Hi, my name is Lawrence, and today I will show you how I made one of my dragon sculptures, particularly this little bugger. It's actually one of my favorite dragon sculptures. I've always enjoyed sculpting dragons. It was one of the first sculptures I attempted doing. This particular sculpture is titled Sleeping Ash Dragon. I made this back in 2018. This is actually a remake of an early sculpture I made in 2009. I will be showing you a comparison later in the video. You can never go wrong with dragons. Dragons are fictional creatures and you can make them any way you like. Nobody's going to say you're doing the wings wrong, or the tail's too long, or the head's too big. It's a subject I'd recommend to anyone planning to start sculpting. We've had a few dragons in Philippine folklore, the most famous being the Bakunawa Moon Eater. This dragon was blamed by early Filipinos for lunar eclipses. So I decided to imagine my own Filipino dragons. The ash dragon is envisioned to be a nocturnal creature found in the Visayas region of the Philippines. This dragon has very keen eyesight, allowing it to hunt in limited light, and unlike majority of dragons, they are live bearers rather than egg layers. As I previously said, this sculpture is a remake of the dragon sculpture I made in 2009. The 2009 sculpture is made out of air-dry clay and painted with acrylic paint. Here they are side by side. The first step in making the dragon sculpture is the armature. For this sculpture, I again used steel wire. You would notice that I made detachable armature for the wings. I made loops on the body armature where the wings would slide in and still be supported by the wire. This would allow you to work easily on the body prior to baking. Once you've established the armature, you can then proceed with wrapping it with aluminum foil. Aluminum foils allow the clay to cling on a surface and reduces the amount of clay you need to use. Polymer clay is not particularly affordable. The next step is clay application. Ensure that you condition the clay before applying it on the armature. You may do this through kneading or passing it through a pasta machine a few times. This would make it easier to work on the clay and avoid cracking when baking. Make the basic structure of your dragon. Let your imagination run wild. 2 heads? Go! 3 tails? No problem. 4 wings? Go ahead. Just ensure that the armature can support them. And now for the exciting part. For the details, I've already made a head for the dragon. I used bead for the eyes, made a serpentine head, and put some scales on. I applied the protruding spikes on the backbone. Notice that I made them smaller as it approaches the tail. The most time-consuming part are the scales. To make them, I made small balls of clay and flattened them on the body. I found that the smaller the scales, the better the effect, although this would also be more time-consuming. It took me around 3 days to finish the scales. The scales are also the most noticeable details that would make your dragon look realistic. This is also the time you make the claws for your dragon. I then proceeded to making the wings. The structure of the wings are like that of a bat. You may make them with 2 or 3 quote-unquote fingers. You may even just do 1, like in this sculpture. Putting bulges on wing joints similar to those on your fingers would also look good. Once the wing structure is done, it's time to put the skin in between the wings. I used the pasta machine to make sheets of clay and cut the appropriate size and shape for the wings. When you're finished with your sculpture, it's time to put it in an oven and bake it. Be sure to follow the baking instructions of the brand of polymer clay you are using. It usually varies from each brand. And this is what it looks like after baking. I decided not to paint it since I kind of like the gray stone colored finish. Who knows, I may change my mind in the future and paint it. And that's the step-by-step procedure in doing the Sleeping Ash Dragon. I hope you enjoyed the video. For questions, please leave them in the comments and I'll try to answer them. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more contents like this.